and the obligation to notify the Commission pursuant Section F of the Act intentionally or by omission conceals the fact such security breach. So, by not reporting the breach inside your organization to the National Privacy Commission is already a data privacy violation. So we must document properly all violations, all breaches, all activities that have happened, because if we will file those cases, if we will hold those persons liable for their actions without providing a copy to the National Privacy Commission, then we ourselves are violating the data privacy violate. We also the Data Privacy Act. So it is also part of the process that we should report it to the National Privacy Commission. Then we have malicious disclosure. It is when an individual or entity with malice or in bad faith discloses unwarranted or false information relative to any personal info obtained by him or by her. So by just disclosing those sensitive information of a person or the organizations, which is very confidential, is already a data privacy violation. Malicious disclosure, and authorized much more with unauthorized disclosure. Okay? Discloses to a third party personal information not covered by legitimate purpose, lawful criteria, and without consent of the data subject. Okay? So if I will summarize all of those violations in harmony, with your Data Privacy Act and the Cybersecurity Plan, it may look like this one. It may look like this one. So technical summary. Uh, of course, when we talk about cybersecurity and data privacy, we talk about processing of personal data. It talks about safeguards to protect computer network against unlawful or illegitimate and destructive activities. Take note, cybersecurity is not just stealing. So it could create destructive activities that could disrupt the operations and may incur a lot of financial measures. And then confidentiality, we talk about confidentiality, integrity, availability, and resilience of the processing of the systems and services. So by using technology, we should make sure that our data are that the data that are confidential should be available, and of course it must be free during the process. It must be free from attacks during the process. Vulnerability assessment and reg, regular monitoring for security breaches. Again, we will be talking more on this, the risk assessment, where is the possibility wherein breaches are happening. And of course, we should not we should not relax. We should regular monitor our system, our infrastructure for possible security breaches. We must always be proactive as what we are told to do to provide to be ready from all breaches. And then number 5, ability to restore the availability and access to control to personal data. So what happens when breaches happen? What will you do when breaches happens? Of course, we must make sure that we must restore order immediately. We cannot allow that orders can be restored in the next possible days or weeks or months in a shortest possible time because operations will be disrupted. Then, regular testing, assessing, and evaluating the effectiveness of security measures. So, we are not just being contented of what we have. We must test it. We must assess it. And we must evaluate its effectiveness. Take note, information technology is a fast-paced technology. It's a fast-paced measure. So every now and then, there are new technologies that are coming out. So As we are leveling up our security measures, people who have bad intentions, especially the hackers, are also leveling up their skills, leveling up their knowledge, and leveling up their desire to continue to breach our networks. If we are challenged to protect our network, they are also challenged to breach our network. And number seven, encryption of personal data during storage while in transit and authentication process. So we must provide extra measures of security, just like when we access, especially at this point of time, like the mobile banking. If you are aware of that, the mobile banking, before it is just limited to username and password, where when we could key in our username and we key in our password, then we immediately enter the network. Now at this point of time, there's another measures. What is that? First is the device signature. They are checking if the device that you are using is still the same device that you have registered. By using another device, they will try to invalidate the transactions. Not just by signatures, they are also checking on your, aside from device signature, they are also checking your, they use the OTP, the one-time password, through SMS. So take note, that's already for encryption process at this point of time. So, which I believe I've been using online banking for quite some time, and so far I could say it's good. With those four encryptions, I am more I feel more secure with those things. And I have tried to check their security measures when I transferred it to use another phone, and then their response is quite well in terms of data security and cybersecurity measures. Then we also have the technical survey measures of your cybersecurity. We do have the National Cybersecurity Plan, which is cyber threats to control. So control here is very important. We should be in control of our network. We should not allow anyone to be in control of our network, because this is where most of the things happen, breaches happen, when there are a lot of people who are in control. Then we have the cybersecurity key result areas. We must try to check on those areas to make sure that all things are covered. That's why, if you will ask me, what is the best solutions that we could procure later on? They might people might you might ask me, sir, what is the best possible solutions that we have in terms of cybersecurity? Then the question is, you have to define first your infrastructure. What are your possible areas of cybersecurity that you would like to cover? Because if you don't cover everything, then the solution that you might have procured will still be prone to attacks. And then lastly, you must check on the cybersecurity action and result indicators. We must try to check on what are the most possible actions in terms of breaches, and what are those areas that would provide us indicators that we are doing a great job. So those are the three things that what the National Cybersecurity Plan. And if you will try to harmonize the cybersecurity violations and the data privacy violations, it looks like that. Okay, so if you try to look at that, number one of cybersecurity is um, illegal access. In terms of data privacy, it's unauthorized processing. So what are the possible security requirements? Cybersecurity and privacy governance. So illegal access could be solved using cybersecurity and privacy governance. So as I've said, cybersecurity, it's not just the work of the cybersecurity unit. It is not just the work of the top or the head of the agency unit, but it is the work of everybody. It must be top down to the bottom, that we should be also aware in terms of privacy and security. Number two, illegal interception. We have negligence in access. So what are the possible security requirements? Control policies based on regulations, advisories, agreements, and standards. I believe most of our organizations have policies and standards in terms of access, in terms of regulations, in terms of usage of devices inside the offices. That's why some organizations, you might laugh that when we try to use laptop inside our offices, some organizations have policies that they do not allow laptops to be brought at home to be used because of these measures. So they don't want to. Uh, they have to make sure that the use of the laptops or the use of devices in the office are for your office use only, not be used inside our homes or whatever purpose it may be for negligence in access. Okay? Number three, data interference and improper disposal. Maintain registry of assets. So later on, I think it's in module 3, we try to look at, we need to identify our assets carefully. Because by identifying our assets carefully, we may able to see the possible risk. And identifying possible risks are very, very important because that is where we could focus or that is where we could focus our security measures. We always try to identify where is our weakness because that weakness will surely be taken advantage of those attackers. Then, number four, system interference. Number four also, unauthorized purpose. What shall we do? Threat intelligence database. So, if we are aware, if we are if we are aware or we are always proactive in all the things that we do, despite using social medias, there will be no system, there will be no interference, there will be no unauthorized purpose, a purpose that is will being taken advantage of. There will be no threats. Number five, misuse of device, unauthorized access, security vulnerability risk, and privacy impact assessment. This is mostly very, very common where we allow other people to use our devices or authorize access. This is where a lot of issues have been popping out or coming out, especially when your phones are lost or laptops or devices and be used by other people, taken advantage by other people for other purposes. Then number six, we have the fraud. Uh, Number six also is intentional breach, security and privacy management system. So when there's already breach, then we must provide security and management. We should know how to manage the security and privacy inside our organization.